I don't know about you, but this episode felt like it was never going to end for me. It was slow, kind of boring. It was long in the same way that The Irishman's long, except I felt like this was the director's cut of The Irishman, and it was just never going to end. Um, I feel like this episode's setting up a bunch of stuff that's going to happen towards the finale here, and that's why it moved this way. I don't think I'm going to rewatch this episode anytime soon. If you listen to my prior reviews, you know I watch these things on Sunday morning while I do some work. Um, so if you've not seen the show yet, go watch it. Come back because I'm going to have some spoilers. Kicking this thing off, we got Prince and his, Coyote Ugly X. That I don't care about the storyline. They brought her up 2 or 3 times in this episode. Guessing they're just filling space at this point. I don't know. I just don't care about that. It's not why I watch Billions. There's 20 million other shows where you could just go watch that. I just don't care. We got Chuck and his sidekick, new sidekick Dave, moving on, and you can tell that Dave's just not into this crap that Chuck's doing, settling personal vendettas, crushing scholarships, crushing the train line. It's just at some point Dave's gonna have enough of this and say, "I'm out. This isn't what I signed up for. Like I'm here to go after bad people. You're out here trying to settle personal scores. Um, that's not gonna last that long." And then you got Wendy and Chuck talking about Yale and Cornell and just more elitist speak, even though Chuck wants to go after these same elitist people that he is himself and his father and the same whole lineage of family, and why Chuck's probably even in that seat right now. And you catch Wendy and Chuck even talking that way at the private school fundraiser, the way they talk about wealthy people. It's like you are the wealthy people. And I know people like that in real life, and I can't stand them. They got a crap ton of money. They dress down, they drive, cheaper cars, and the way they talk about rich people, even though they themselves are wealthy and do elitist things, but they constantly dog on the elites. And I'm like, well, you're one of them. You act like you're not. Like, I can at least deal with the elitist attitude when the people own it. I can't deal with your fake ass fronting all the time. What else we got here? They're doing the big pitch, and then the mayor walks in, and no one expects the mayor. It's like every season, there's always someone walking into a meeting, into a room, into a place that no one was expecting them. It's the writers got to come up with a new gig here. If you're gonna make it through season 7, we don't need any more of this BS. Taylor mentioned about doing crowdsourcing for the ratings agency. Yeah, how many times have we seen crowdsourcing go wrong? And I wish I could just like throw a poll up on my Instagram and get all the answers that I need in the world. Warren Buffett, if you ever read, there's like a blue book you can buy. It's like the essays of Warren Buffett or something. But if you flick through that, you do some research on him, you'll find Buffett where he talks about, I can't look at like my top 15 generals and say, hey, should we make an investment in this company or not? And out of 15 people, 11 will say yes and 4 will say no. He's like, kind of ruling that way never works. Those 11 people just might not be right. So a lot of times, Buffett just kind of keeps his own counsel, and he knows the right or wrong decision, and that's how you end up winning. If you think I can just go ask 15 people, like the 15 smartest people in the room, and I'm always going to get the right answer, if that's the case, then hell, every hedge fund out there would be crushing it forever and ever. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes it's just one person and they got the right answer. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, the rating agency guy and his high moral ground about what if you make a mistake, and it's like, well, look what you did in 2008. And Taylor actually brings that up on how they were rating triple A bonds that were like garbage. Um, it's just that's the world we live in, right? We don't even we don't even want to admit to or cop to the terrible things we do. We always put that perception out there that we're not doing anything bad or wrong. Yeah, that worked really well in 2008, by the way. Taylor, as I keep saying, becomes more and more like Bobby every day. going in, kind of manipulating the ratings agency. They end up buying that algo, and then they turn around later and end up crushing the MTA bonds with it. This is a Bobby Axelrod move. And even though Taylor, holds themselves as being a better person and didn't want to do that type of stuff, they're doing it. Going way back when they first met, it's like this is what this industry turns you into. And what else do we have here? Um, you know, Princess X again or whatever. They're separated. I don't know what the deal is. I actually don't care. And I'm only half listening to this as I'm working, but she mentioned about hoping that the Olympics would have been somewhere else to see if he would put the effort in, and it sounded like one big test that is he going to really like dedicate the time and the effort to making it work, and then if he wasn't going to go do all that, then she's not going to give him a shot. I could be completely wrong here because I wasn't fully paying attention. I don't sit there and stare at the screen when I watch these things, but you do run into those people in life that they constantly having you run over hurdles to try to have you you know, prove that you're interested or to make this whole thing feel valid. And at some point, you just get tired of playing the goddamn games. It's like I got my own life going on right now, and like you're part of it, but you're not all of it. And when I hear this stuff like I thought I heard her saying, who the hell, if you're like a billionaire at that point, you're a busy person. And it's like you don't want to be hurdling all the time to try to like prove your worth to somebody or prove that you. He obviously cares. He obviously wants it to work. And then we'll see if it plays out later. But when she's out chasing her dream, then it's going to be okay to be busy. But because he's doing his thing, it's whatever he's doing is not as great as what she's doing. I just seen a lot of this stuff in 2 decades of being alive here. You got these people that just kind of want everything their way. Who's got time for that? Prince is a billionaire. Go chase someone else who's not going to make you jump over hurdles. And then when it comes to their time, they're always going to feel like whatever they're doing is just more important than yours because yours is just business, right? No thanks. Maybe I'm reading that wrong because I wasn't fully listening to it. Feel free to correct me there. I guess I'm not down for hurdling. I feel like when you're in a relationship, if you got two people that are like chasing their own goals and they got their own dreams, they wake up every day chasing those dreams and then they share their lives together. It's not I gotta constantly prove my worth to you. Yeah, I'm just not down for that. Anyways, moving on. What else we got here? There's a little bit of a tease there at the private school fundraiser of Chuck and Wendy maybe getting back together with the whole dinner thing, and you already kind of knew Chuck was probably going to screw that up, and we'll get there in a minute. There's a point there when Prince was talking basketball and talking, full court defense and all that. It's like I present this question to people sometimes where I say, you got 10 seconds left on the clock. Would you rather be up and you have to play defense, or would you rather be down, but if you make the winning shot, you win? Like there's one possession left, that's it. I always took the standpoint of I'd rather be down and take the winning shot. Because if I could hit that winning shot, then you couldn't take it away from me. But you can still be up in life. And it's like that the guy that's running towards the end zone and he's holding the ball back to try to like tease the defender behind him, and right before he crosses the goal line, someone smacks it out of your hands. I don't want someone to go be able to take that winning shot and then I have no recourse. I would just rather be down and I want to make that shot and win Michael Jordan style. Or lose. Like you got to accept that losing is a possibility as well. It's just that I'd rather hit that winning shot. And then no one can take that away from you. Oh, what else we got here? Truck tracking down the Palazzo. I got like a Law and Order vibe. They're down at the Stone Pony. They're making phone calls, and it literally felt like Law and Order when Dave comes out of the Stone Pony and goes, "Oh, I got the bartender to talk," and it's like every episode of Law and Order. Is this what? It just doesn't seem realistic that this is where someone at Chuck's level would be spending their time. Like, is there someone else not around questioning where you're spending all your time right now on cases. Just dealing with this kind of crap. It's almost at a point where it's almost unbelievable. Um, Chuck stepping back into that room with his ex-mistress, and you can tell, like, all right, Chuck's on a different vibe now, but you wonder if that one meeting is going to take him right back down that road. It's most people, like, they you get over being an alcoholic and you don't drink alcohol anymore, and then you have one beer, and the next thing you know, you're drinking a fifth of vodka on Saturday. You just wonder if that's going to bring that storyline back in. Um, I mean, she tried to get him with the little ear pull thing, and he didn't bite. But you could tell in his face, like, maybe he's going to be thinking about that later. So we'll see. Then you had Taylor crushing the MTA like we talked about, Bobby Axelrod style. It was good to see. I mean, that's what made this show fun. That's what we loved. Season 1, Season 2, Season 3, we wanted to see the Bobby out crushing people. That's his show. That's why we watch it. Like, we didn't want to watch Wall Street 1 or Wall Street 2 to watch people not make money. Like, why do we watch Boiler Room? You wanted to see people talk fast, make money, sell stocks. If you like these types of shows, then that's why we're here. And not that we don't want, like, well thought out deep plot lines, but it's a show about money. It's called Billions. And what else we got here? They talked about that Colin guy being a fixer, which reminds me of George Clooney and Michael Clayton. I always thought those kind of movies were interesting because these people do exist in real life for rich people. Maybe not like, Hull's a whole different kind of, like, operative, but just these general fixers that kind of get people out of mess. They kind of keep things moving. They get people things that they want that you can't normally obtain. So that was, throwback to Michael Clayton. If you've never seen that movie, underrated, definitely check that out. Sweeney, when Chuck approaches him about, after the MTA gets busted out, Sweeney inks the deal, and he goes into the whole pros and cons, and he's like, the pros outweigh the cons here. Most of the cons is, like, Chuck's personal vendetta for, Prince trying to, bolster his whole persona, and he's going to make a few bucks. And obviously, we know when the Olympics leave, there are some negative things that happen to all the spaces. So there is some bad stuff, but Sweeney says, hey, the pros outweigh the cons. It's not that hard in life to do that. It's like if everything's not 100% pro, we don't want to do it. And nothing in life is like that. Almost, it's like making money and you realize you got to pay tax on it. So would you say, well, I'd rather not make the money because I don't want to pay the tax? That's just dumb. All right. And then that guy disappears at the end when Chuck's just about to arrest him. Like, went straight up Kaiser Soze on him. I feel like there's some Hall involved here. We'll see. That's like some stuff that you would expect in, like, Homeland, where someone's in a crowd and they just disappear all of a sudden from Carrie or Quinn. But I just have a feeling maybe this is Hall's reintroduction of maybe he got this guy out of the country, out of something. But, straight Kaiser Soze type of stuff. He talked about the wires being tracked. I don't know, man. I just don't. You saw Wags say, don't have this conversation. You kind of got the feeling that Wags thought this is going to be the downfall. This is what's going to get you busted. This is the trap. But I got to imagine once you're at that level, there's probably some other ways, like move some crypto around, this or that, and this money gets wired out of some. Who knows what account from somewhere. If Prince is that low level, then I don't know. If they do that and they're able to track it all the way back to Prince, I'm not going to believe that storyline. Just for me personally. Who the hell's doing wire transfers in 2021, 2022 for underground stuff? That would all be done with some kind of crypto. What's the one? Cardano, you can't track too well. Don't quote me on that. There's a handful of those that you could find some ways. It's only, I think they said 5 million. What's 5 million? You can fit $1 million in a duffel bag. Like, somewhere, somehow, $5 million with the gold bullion can be moved around. I don't know if you're going to do it by a wire to make it trackable, unless you're trying to set Chuck up and you're trying to take him down another path, which was great when Chuck tried to raid the palazzo and they're playing bridge. It was about time that one of Chuck's little plans didn't work out. Yeah, that was good to see. What else we got here? At the end, you had Chuck nor Wendy show up to the dinner, which that whole spread looked like a whole Harry and David catalog out. Like, it was so much food for two people. It's crazy. Well, I mean, they got the kids there, right? But if you ever flip through a Harry and David catalog, it's like that was the whole goddamn spread right there. But then neither of them shows, and it goes back to the conversation that Chuck and Wendy had there right after they announced New York City won. That, Chuck probably had a chance to get like a shot at Wendy again, to maybe rekindle something, and he's not. He's going to put his work before the relationships and his own personal vendettas, settling of personal scores, and the dude's just going to end up single forever because he's an asshole. And I don't want to see that happen anyways. Like, I wanted to see like Wendy and Bobby or something. I don't know. I just don't want to see Wendy back with Chuck. What else we got here? I don't know. That's about it. One thing I do, like, if you look at the video here, this shot of Wendy and Chuck, which is probably like in 4K, 8K or something. If you think about when this show started, 5, 6, 7 years ago, how much older Wendy and Chuck look. It's a reminder of how fast time goes by. I always thought about that when you watch Sopranos, season 1 to season 6, and some of those other shows that went on for a long time, like how fast these people age. But you think of Wendy back in like Sons of Anarchy time, you figure 5, 6 years for this show, and then what was Sons of Anarchy? 5, 6, 7 seasons. Don't quote me on that. Long ass time ago, but man, we all get old quick. Anyways, that's all I got for this episode. If you, I'm sure you caught a bunch of stuff that I didn't catch because I'm not paying 100% attention here. Drop a comment below if got any other things that I didn't catch. Until then, I'm gonna catch you on the next one.